Hello everyone, this is General History, and this is part 11 of our Ultimate General Civil War playthrough. We have just completed the Battle of Winchester, and now we are going to be doing the Battle of Cross Keys. Now, Cross Keys took place on June the 8th, as you can see, and took place after Stonewall Jackson nearly avoided being trapped between two Union armies as he retreated out of Winchester and down the valley. Those two Union armies were under the command of General Fremont and General Shields, and he eventually bivouacked at a small town of Port Republic down in the southern end of the valley. Along his way, he destroyed bridges which would have allowed the two advancing armies, Fremont advancing down the Valley Pike on the interior of the Massanutten Mountains, and General Shields, who was moving down the Luray Road on the exterior of the Massanutten Mountains. He destroyed all the bridges that would have connected them, except for one at the town of Port Republic. Now he stationed Richard Ewell on his left near the Tavern of Cross Keys along the Mill Creek line, which intersected with the Port Republic Road, which would have blocked Fremont's forces from coming down and attacking Port Republic. Now, a Union cavalry brigade under command of forget his first name, but I know his last name was Carroll, attacked the town of Port Republic, which sort of scattered Jackson's troops. There's a pretty funny anecdote where the engagement was so disorganized on both sides, really, because you had Union cavalry running up and down the streets at Port Republic, but Jackson had actually come across a artillery unit which actually belonged to the Union that was in support of Carroll's division, and began issuing it orders from a distance, and didn't realize it was a Union artillery piece. The artillery piece actually had a chance to shoot at Jackson, possibly even kill him, had it not been for a Union commander who actually had told them to stand down, because he believed it was a Union officer issuing them commands, not General Jackson. General Jackson would eventually realize this mistake and ride off before the Union gun realized its mistake. And fortunately for Jackson, he would survive to fight another day. Eventually, Carroll's cavalry would be driven off. Carroll had a chance to destroy the bridge himself, which he was under orders not to, because obviously the two advancing armies, but had he done so, he would have actually cut off Jackson from his own supplies. A mistake Jackson had made was he had actually stationed his army and his supplies on two separate sides of the river access that the bridge was over. So Carroll had that chance but did not take it. Now, in the meantime, Fremont's forces began their attack on the not the town, but of near the Tavern of Cross Keys, which we are about to fight now. Now, Ewell had set up his troops along the banks of Mill Creek near Goods Mill. I believe this is supposed to be the Port Republic Road here, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to go ahead and deploy our brigade and take a better look at the map. The map is pretty large. Like I said, this would be Mill Creek here. And like I said, Goods Mill, I believe, was in this area. Trimble would set up his forces on Victory Hill in this location, I believe, where Stahl's forces would have marched south to try and cross. Maybe, it's kind of hard to tell on this map, but maybe Victory Hill is this hill? Or maybe, I'm not sure. But we'll talk about that when we get into the battle, so let's go ahead and start. Federal brigades come into line and soon will attack your position. Mill Creek offers a good defense position to repel the Yankees. Your main objective is to hold this passage, and the other one located southwards. You should expect superior forces, so use the terrain to your benefit to withstand the assault. Good luck, General. Okay, so let's take a look at what forces we have. Oh, okay, so the overall map, I wonder if it expands, is smaller than the map it showed in the briefing. So I believe this, it's hard to tell. I believe this is supposed to be Victory Hill here, where Trimble would have set up behind a stone wall. And like I said, Stahl would have marched down on the Union left. Trimble waited until Stahl wasn't within about. It's debated how close they let them get, but it's believed that, or maybe this is Victory Hill here. I can't. It's really hard to tell with these maps, but. Yeah, I think this is supposed to be Victory Hill, because, no, that's not Stonewall. Okay, sorry, rambling. But Trimble allowed Stahl to get within 50 yards. Stahl didn't realize Trimble was there. The Confederates were using smoothbore muskets, which allowed them to use buck and ball shot, which is sort of like a shotgun shell in those days, or it was basically one massive shot with little mini balls in it. It couldn't be fired from a rifled musket, but the old smoothbores it could, and within an instant about 300 men were lost on the Union ranks. The rest would flee because these were green Union troops. So a little interesting story. Most of the fighting happened on the right, and we'll talk about that, like I said. Let's go ahead and deploy our men. So I'm going to do exactly what Ewell did and mass most of my artillery here in the middle. Now, as I said, Ewell deployed Trimble on his right, general named Elzey in the middle, and his cavalry brigade, I believe, in the north under Stewart. Not that Stewart, not Jeb Stewart, but a different Stewart. I forget his first name. So we're going to do a similar idea. We're going to deploy 2 divisions in the south, or 2 brigades in the middle, in our center, and 2 brigades on our left. I'm going to take cavalry out. I don't want any cavalry. I'll go ahead and deploy Coke in reserve. Move my supplies forward and my general forward a little. Yeah, we'll start the battle and pause. So how do we want to deploy? I think I'm going to go ahead and deploy him across the bridge. Just as Trimble had a little bit here in the south. Like I said, I believe Trimble would have been a little bit farther south. Looks like this battle takes place mostly in the center of the battlefield. Because, like I said, Stewart's left flank would have been a little bit farther north, near the actual Cross Keys Tavern. Let's see, I'll go ahead and employ wheat in reserve near this objective, as well as Coke. I was going to put Coke in reserve, but I'll leave him in those wood lines as well. Deploy Dury in the old first in that wood line. And Bloody 8th, the Stonewall Brigade on my left. Then, did I deploy? No. Okay, Siegfried and battle and a little bit forward. Okay, so that's how I'm going to deploy. Let's go ahead and break off some skirmishers. I'll leave the Stonewall Brigade whole. I'll leave those 2 brigades whole as well. So as I said, most of the fighting seemed to take place on Mill Creek in the south with Trimble's brigade. At least that's where most of the heavy fighting took place. Now the Union did advance on the center with Milroy's Milroy's divisions or brigades. and attacked the Confederate center, but he wasn't able to put up enough pressure, and especially with Stall retreating. Now, Stall retreated to a hill opposite Victory Hill, where he set up artillery, but Trimble flanked with the 15th Alabama. He was supported by Ewell by the 13th Virginia and the 20th Virginia, I think, were the two units that Ewell sent over to support Trimble on the right. And eventually, Trimble was able to get the 15th into a ravine right below the hill that Stall had retreated to, and the 15th rushed the guns there. Now, the guns exchanged a couple of times, or exchanged hands a couple of times, but Trimble kept moving the 15th along the ravine, and was able to get in behind, which totally broke the Union left at that point. Most of the center battle with Milroy's brigades was mostly an artillery duel, although Milroy did send up troops which exchanged fire across Mills Creek with the Union center. And then in the not the Union center, the Confederate center. And then in the Confederate north, sorry, I'm just paying attention to what's going on in the battle. My skirmishers are starting to get beat back. Now we got Union forces advancing on our right. I'm going to rush the... Oh wait, oh, nope. Innocent can go that wood line. Just going to use protect positions here. Get in the wood line and get more cover. Oh wow. Reload, come on. Sorry. And on the Confederate left, near, like I said, the Cross Keys Tavern, Fremont event Shanks units, or Shanks brigades, on the Confederate left, near the Union Church, actually, not the Cross Keys Tavern. But you reinforced the left with elements of, whoa, why are you rushing? No, get back. He reinforced the Confederate left with parts of Elsie's, because like I said, the Senate never really saw too much combat. So Ewell reinforced the left with units from Elsie's brigades, which stiffened up the Confederate left and was able to push back. Alright, let's go ahead and recall some of our skirmishers. Let's go ahead and get all of them back. So it reinforced the Confederate left. Sorry, I'm keep getting distracted by what's going on in the battle. But in the process, both Elsie and Stewart were actually wounded in the exchange. It was shortly after that, though, especially with the Union left totally collapsing, and well, I'm gonna go ahead and advance the Innocents. I guess they already are exchanging fire. With the Union left collapsing, Fremont told Milroy to retreat from the center, and eventually, it was shortly after that Fremont had the entire Union Army, retreat from the field and take up positions around the Kieseltown Road, where they set up artillery and continued to harass Ewell's forces for the remainder of the day. Now Trimble wanted to launch a night attack on the Union forces, but Ewell told him to not to do so because he had a conference with Jackson earlier that day, who had a plan to attack the advanced force of Shields' division, which was already making its way down the Luray Road. So he didn't want to risk Trimble having any misfortunes that night and throwing off the next day's battle plan. And that was pretty much the Battle of Cross Keys. Roughly almost 700 Union forces would be lost, with Confederates losses being around just under 300 during the battle. Coke skirmishers are really holding up their ground. I'm wondering if I should advance my right. In fact, let's go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and advance my right. Innocents don't need to charge. Oh! Bowling Brigade is on my right. A little bit open here. Hopefully the Innocents can get up beside him. Don't want him to get too close to that artillery. It should just be out of range. I think I'm going to advance Stonewall a little bit. Try and get up beside this artillery and put pressure on them. See, the game takes some of the actual historic generals into account. So you do have Schenck in the north. Milroy is in the center. Stahl didn't make his approach on the right, though. Like I said, Coke skirmishers are just holding up back the Union force right now. Just give my artillery plenty of time to put some fire on them. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and charge with the Innocents. Try and break Bowling. They'll be charging into the forest. Good, they didn't take too many casualties in that charge. Bristol, yeah, he was able to put some free volleys into him. Bristol, I'll advance, take out that artillery. Innocents, hold your ground. Oh, the Innocents broke. It's okay, I'm advancing Bristow, so he should be able to root out that artillery. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and advance. I can't advance Coke across the river. So the only place that they can actually cross is here. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and move Coke into the woods in reserve there. Seeing this, there's no threat of them crossing here. The Tigers, I'm gonna go ahead and move up on the Union left. Stonewall's brigade is pouring in fire onto their flank. They're really not doing anything. I would expect a lot more. So Bolin is in full retreat. Come on, still advance. There is no reason that they should be struggling this much against these skirmishers. Like, I understand they're in the wood line, but still. So the innocent Bolin is advancing again. Now, the Innocents not only had the high ground, so yeah, I believe this is supposed to be Victory Hill here. So not only do the Innocents have the high ground, but they're in the wood line, so they should hold fine against Bolin. They're using canister, but because Bristow's in the wood, he has that really good cover. Oh wow, how did those skirmishers get across the river there? Oh, this finally starting to push. So Cope is starting to be pushed back. We'll advance a little bit. We still have the high ground, which I believe the game does take into account. Hard to tell, but I do think they take that into account. Are those the skirmishers that were across the river? I have no idea. Sure, seems like nope. There they are. Alright, Wheat, what are you doing? Looks left to Coke skirmishers down to help Wheat. Bristow keep advancing. Shift the Innocents a little bit to the left there. So they're finally starting to push my center. But they shouldn't be able to really put up too much of a fight. Nah, forward and routed almost immediately. Bolin is mounting another assault. Stonewall is just picking them off. Finally, Schenk is retreating. We're about to get the artillery in the open, which is going to be great for Bristow. Come on, get another volley off before he gets to the other line. Advance quickly. Oh no. You're pushing my right. Let's go ahead and move Coke down. Sort of out of position here. Gotta move that skirmisher down as well. Stonewall gonna go ahead and advance. Alright, the Ensigns, let's go ahead and move you guys back across the river. Bristol, you keep sweeping north. Derry, I'm going to move down as well. Starting to sweep the Union artillery from the field, but I did lose the other crossing. But I do have plenty of units coming into support, not to mention 2 units flanking, but they got 3 pushing in on my right. They moved quickly when they realized that you know what, let's go ahead and move battle. Maybe try and get some canister on them. Gordon, I think, realized what's going on. Come on. Hold. Oh, Shank is still in the break. Use bloody 8 to start pushing on him. Alright, so we re-secured Mill Creek 2. Go ahead and get these skirmishers up there. Let's wheel the Stonewall Brigade in behind. Bristol, let's wheel in behind. Yeah, hold on for 20 more minutes. So we sent the Union guns scrambling. Milroy's routing. We're right up behind them now. It's not quite the way historically things went down. Oh, Bolin has come up. Let's put Bristow on Gordon so we can't put flank shots in. Stall is now broken, but now Donnelly is starting to recover. Although he's taking artillery now and he's broken again. Bad story. Let's get a volley in on Roy, who's out in the open. Good. Alright, now turn your guns on Gordon now. Fremont is going right through the wheat stockers out. I don't really know how generals really work in this game, because if it was a... Oh, okay, and there's the victory. But yeah, if that was a Union... I mean, one of my guys rushing in like that, they would have actually got captured. So... They had 16,000, which is roughly what they actually had in the battle. We had 14,000, that wasn't quite what you all had. I believe Yule had about 8,000 troops under his command at the time. They lost well over a third of their strength. I didn't actually lose that much. Felt like I was losing a lot more than I was. Things got convoluted there at the end, that's probably why. Let's see, Stonewall Brigade continues to be one of my best units, hold first, and the Innocents following in behind. Coke did pretty well as well, mostly because of those skirmishers who held the middle there for a long time. A lot of promotions across the board, a lot of a new major general in Dwayne Evans, a lot of new brigadier generals, and then let's see, the goods captured almost 1,000, or captured and rescued almost 1,000 Springfields, captured 5 Napoleons, 300 palmettos, 2 howitzers, and we rescued some of our Lorenz, MG, and Mississippis. Alright, so let's go ahead and rebuild. So we got 5,000 troops, $70,000 for that battle. So not too bad. Probably gonna do mostly recruit rookie units. It's not really gonna affect me too much, because nobody really took that many casualties. Let's go all rookies for the most part, as long as it doesn't... Battle lost a gun? Interesting. I think get the Innocents were the #1 losing unit, and even then it wasn't too bad. Some troops. I want to actually keep them veteran, my sharpshooters. And Coke was the other one. Still. So there we go. Everything's built back up. Let's go ahead and give Forrest another, well, we have it, another 100 cavalry. And let's go ahead and start. You know what, actually, did we already buy? Yeah. But did we buy? No. So we almost have enough. No, not really. Wait, didn't I? Isn't that one of the things I can actually buy? I'm very tempted to spend the 6th prestige to get these 250 Whitworths. Because that would put me at almost enough to equip Wheat's Tigers with them. I think I am going to do that. Let's go ahead and order these. So that puts me, sorry, at... So I only need a little over 100 more, 108 more Whitworth sniper rifles to equip the Tigers, which would be a really good upgrade for them. They performed pretty well in that last battle. 2-1, just using the Hunters, which are slow to reload. Really, not that bad of guns, they're just really slow to reload. You can see their efficiency. I mean, their efficiency is really high up. Well, as well as their melee, but their reload is crazy weak. So let's go ahead and see what we can do to start equipping Sidney Johnson's forces. So we have enough to equip one more regiment, pretty much, with or brigade with the Springfields. Oh, I don't want to put Beauregard in charge. We could actually bring in Breckinridge, but do I want to? Well, let's go to the armory. I'm not going to be using palmettos, I don't think. Well, I should just hold off on selling them though. So that's all I could sell in my armory. So we were able to add one more unit. I want to get Breckinridge, but it's one of my more interesting, one of the more interesting generals in the war. I really like reading about Breckinridge, so I eventually want to get him. Might actually go ahead and well, I have Beauregard, so I might as well use him.
Yes, sir.
That way I can get the free one. So even with farmers, I don't have enough money right now to even get another brigade. Alright, so that's where we're gonna stand going into the next battle. Actually, we have one more career point. Let's go ahead and plop it into politics. Sort of maxing out. What's my next army org level? 4 divisions. So I can go ahead and get another division. I might go ahead and do that on you know what? I'm not going to be able to do that before the next battle. Because Gainesville, I needed to bring in 2. Yeah, I have to bring in 2. So I'm really not going to have enough. I might as well just focus on trying to give my 2nd Corps as many troops as I can for that flank attack. So alright, that's where we're going to leave it for this episode. We'll go ahead and do the final battle in the Valley Campaign, the Battle of Port Republic. Pretty simple battle. Jackson kind of struggled through it. He made I mean, honestly, the first year for Jackson after Bull Run was a bit of a struggle for him, really. Even though this Valley Campaign was ended up being, you know, magnificent in its entirety, Jackson did make a lot of mistakes, like I mentioned earlier with the supply trains. He made a lot of mistakes pretty much at every battle leading up to Port Republic in the Valley Campaign. For example, at Front Royal, he made a bunch of mistakes, made the battle. I mean, Jackson outnumbered the forces at Front Royal, I want to say like 5-1, and really had to jump on them and the better terrain. But it took a long time, and Jackson lost more than he should have during Front Royal. Same with Winchester, and really, as we're about to find out, really at Port Republic, he lost a lot more than he should have in terms of his strength. But we'll talk about that in the next battle, or the next episode of the next battle. But for now, thank you all for watching. This is General History, signing off. Bye-bye.